Green lovers, bechike chwala.
We are the amplifiers.
Lalela.
Listen to the voices of education in South Africa.
Episode 6.
Our teachers close a gap.
So my name is Robyn van der Rede, and I'm the principal of Stellenbosch, a brand new blended learning school in South Africa. So I have the very challenging but also very, very big privilege to manage and to run and to lead the school, the staff, the kids, the parents, everyone.
Yes, you heard that right. Today we're in Stellenbosch at a blending learning school. And what that actually means, you'll find out in a moment. Robyn is showing me around today in what looks like a brand new secondary school building. And as we speak, they're still constructing new wings here. I haven't been in such a new building before here.
Well, it's so new that they are literally, we are currently like building the plane while flying. It's something like that. Every week there's something new. Then we're like, oh, this is new. We didn't see this last week. We started the school last year, but we were in a church in Kaimandi, which is a township here in Stellenbosch. We were there for a year with 100 kids whilst they were building this building that we are currently in. It was a wine cellar. Mm-hmm. So the classes that we are busy utilizing now, that's the old cellar. They obviously just refurbished it into a classroom. And then, as you said, they are busy building 6 classrooms that must be done by the end of the year for us to be able to accommodate. In 2028, we will be 100% full on 1,000 learners in the school. And we currently have 2 grade 8 classes, which is 100 each. And then I have the 1 grade 9 class who started with us last year. They are only 100. We didn't take on the full 200.
Yes, you heard that right as well. There are 100 pupils in a classroom here. Grade 8 is the first year of secondary school. Grade 9, the second. So at the moment, there are 300 kids here, divided across 3 extremely large classrooms. It may be the standard, but I'm struck by how disciplined everything feels as the children enter the classroom.
When I say go now, you enter the class. Quickly and quietly find your seats and wait for further instructions.
Okay, so I'll show you the first class. It's the grade 9s. Yeah. It's the seniors of the school. There's 100 of them in there. And in our model, we've got 1 teacher and 2 facilitators that run the class.
A facilitator is someone who assists in the classroom. They help bring pupils in, get them quiet and focused, hand out papers, connect a projector and much more. In many cases, they're teachers in training, not people with a full teaching degree. So, in a class of 100 kids, there are 3 adults present. Each pupil sits at a computer, wearing headphones and learns at their own pace.
We have a platform called eNSPIRED. That is where all of our lessons are on. Mm-hmm. So the kids will do the lesson that's on the platform. It gets created by content developers, it gets quality checked, and it gets uploaded a whole term in advance. So that's about 3 to 4 months in advance. And then obviously on the day, they'll do the lesson. The teacher and the facilitators can then track the data and track the progress of the scholar on this platform. And when the teacher then sees that they are struggling with something specific, then she will stop the lesson that they are doing on the system or on the platform, and then she will or he will jump in to explain something so that everyone is on par. Yeah. So in that sense, I almost want to say our teachers don't teach in the traditional sense, but they come in, we call it gap closing. They close the gap. They close that little misunderstanding or the misconception that the scholar has.
Right. I am noticing that quite a number of you are not writing your formula, you are not writing your calculation, and then you are not including your notes.
And when no gaps are being filled and no direct instruction is happening, A classroom with 100 children usually sounds like this. Quiet, right?
I come from a traditional way of teaching, so it took us a couple of minutes just to, to have that different mindset as to I'm not teaching from the get-go. I come in when I see scholars don't understand, and then I do the teaching part, if that makes sense.
It is fascinating to see how easy everything runs here. The facilitators and the teacher walk around with a tablet in hand, which shows them exactly where each kid is in their learning process.
Talk like this?
Yeah, and I just do like this.
Okay.
Is it okay? I've come really
Okay.
close.
And you will ask questions?
Jana de Plooy is a driving force behind this Apex school. She pops in today to join us in the podcast. We sit down on a bench in the winter sun and she tells me why she believes this system is better for the learning process of the pupils.
One of our big beliefs is that the thing that moves learning fundamentally is what we call DDI, data-driven instruction. So in other words, that you don't just teach to cover the curriculum, but you teach, of course you have to cover the curriculum, but you teach in response to data. So in other words, if you teach a concept, the question is not did you teach it, the question is did they learn it? And in a traditional model where a teacher stands in front of a classroom and they teach, I often ask teachers, like, how do you know that the students got what you taught? And the response I get is, I see it in their eyes. And then I'll say, like, what if you didn't have to see it in their eyes, but you could see it on a dashboard? What if we could collect data on every single one of your students, and every day we could see whether they got what you taught?
By the way, I'm allowed to sit in on classes all day and interview both teachers and learners. Because of the disciplined class, it's rather hard for me to find the correct moment to interview them. And that's why I'm taking my chances during a louder changeover moment.
Class. Voice level 1 for me. Thank you, let's focus.
Yes, what's voice level 1?
So voice level 1 just means that they are using their whisper voices. Yes. I am Jason Lee Jansen. I'm a teacher here at Apex Stellenbosch. I started off my teaching career at Apex High School, which was the very first blended learning classroom with 100 scholars. And that to me was really exciting. I enjoyed every single moment of it, something new and refreshing, and I think I sort of thrive in those environments.
But the big question I keep asking myself is blended learning a good system for every pupil? Jason explains to me that the adapted individual approach is something that works.
I do believe that blended learning has the power to create the opportunities for every child to achieve. It doesn't matter where they started off or what learning gaps they have. It is about the journey that we are taking them on. So you could be reading at a grade 4 level. The opportunity that blended learning sort of provides for you is to catch up and be able to read at grade level. Some kids struggle with mathematics because they have the opportunity to work through the content at their own pace, place and time. I think it also affords them the opportunity to, as I mentioned, take ownership of their learning and actually achieve success. Mm-hmm. Yes.
However, Principal Robyn speaks about the fact that some pupils find difficulties to adapt.
When they start with us, about half of the class has never worked with a device. Especially the kids that come from your township areas. Financially, they are, and economically, they are more challenged. So then that means some of them step in here and they've never worked with a device at all. So we do quite a bit of onboarding at the beginning of a year with our new group of grade 8s. So something as simple as where do you put the Chromebook, like where do you switch it on, to how do you look after technology. You can't have water on the table, you can't eat around it, you have dirty hands if you're going to work on it. So we teach them all of those types of things, like how do you look after things. And then, as I'm saying, by the time that they get to the end of term 1, then they want to tell me they can do this and this and this on this and this and this website, because of how they learn very, very fast.
This specific pupil I speak to is incredibly enthusiastic about this way of learning. Listen in.
My name is Orange Kangugia.
We're in your classroom right now. Can you describe the classroom for me?
It's a very lively classroom and very big. When you step in, you're going to be shocked by the amount that you can see right now. And our blazers is like very colorful, and you're going to be surprised by the systems that we have because it's very huge. So we have 2 projectors, so you don't have to turn around and hurt your neck, so it makes it easier. Then we have like a stage for the teacher, so they can protect their voice. Yeah, further on, the class is very like lively and nice.
So you all work independently, no? On your own pace, no?
Yeah, I would say you work on your own pace. Not really, because like if you're struggling, the teachers are gonna like help you and assist you and make sure everybody's on the same page. And so like say someone behind, the teachers are gonna put them in a group and then help them specifically to make it easier for them. I used to study by Lukov High School, and that was in Artevelde, like close to where I live.
Okay.
And then I transferred here this year.
And why did you transfer?
Because they had like better education, and I wanted like to try it out because I can get better opportunities. And I was really excited about the fact that we're gonna be the first people graduating. So it's gonna really help me leave my mark.
How long do you travel from home to here?
It's roughly about like 10 minutes because it's not that far for me, so it's like just good.
Ange comes from the townships around Stellenbosch, like the vast majority of learners here. So you mainly see black and colored pupils who don't actually speak English at home and who attend this English language private school. And that requires quite some adjustment, Robyn explains to me.
That's quite a challenge for us, because obviously we would like to take in anyone into our school from any area, from any background, doesn't matter, but the language is always going to be a barrier. Because I mean, if they come from primary school and they spend 7 years speaking Xhosa or Afrikaans to all of a sudden now speak English, it is a very, very big jump. And I mean, last year I took some Xhosa classes just to school myself a bit in terms of that. And then I realized the difference in sentence construction from Xhosa to English. And I'm actually Afrikaans home language. So then I could see across all 3 languages how different it is. So then I can imagine if I sometimes struggle with, just in the moment to get to the English word, then I can't imagine how they will struggle that actually have no, experience within another language whatsoever. And a lot of them sitting here, Xhosa is actually their home language, but because of there isn't enough schools in this area that can take on Xhosa kids. So sometimes they have to go to a school where they have to speak Afrikaans as a home language. Then English becomes their a second language, and then their actual home language then becomes their third language. So you can then imagine the level of confusement that happens.
As I mentioned earlier, this is a private school, which means parents pay monthly school fees. I inquire with founder Jana de Plooy about the price and the affordability. According to her, this is a cost-saving way of organizing education.
So in a traditional schooling model, 80% of the cost in that school is driven by teacher salaries. And of course, you can't ever achieve efficiency in that model, because the hypothesis is that the quality of your education is directly related to the size of your classroom. So people always aim for smaller classrooms, right? Because now the assumption is the adult can give more independent time, and that makes it more, the quality better. But that also makes it more expensive. So if you pay a teacher and his or her reach is only, let's say, 20 children or 30 children, that salary basically has to be recouped between 20 or 30 kids. And so if you stick to that thinking, every time you add another, let's say 30 kids, you have to add another salary, and then you add another 30 kids, and then you have to add another salary. So you never achieve efficiency in that. And so what we wanted to see was, is there a model where we could potentially add a teacher, but then add 100 students? And then that brought the cost down significantly.
Yeah. Partly because of that, the monthly fees here are lower compared to other schools.
We are subsidized by the government, so we do get a substantial portion of our income from the government, but that is because of the demographic of children we serve. So if your fees are low enough that you can serve children from a range of households, then the government will top up that with a subsidy.
Yeah, because I heard from Robyn that the children from the townships come as well. Do they pay a lot of fee then?
No, so the school fee currently is 620 Rand a month. Now I need to work around how many euros that is.
30 something?
Yeah, 30 euros a month roughly. That's the school fees. And I mean, our collection rate's pretty good.
The collection rate refers to the percentage of families who are actually able to pay the full amount. And for families who can't, there are solutions given.
Of course, there's some of our parents, maybe families who got divorced or lost a breadwinner or lost a job. And in those instances, we try to accommodate that with like a scholarship or something. We have a lot of individuals who make scholarships available, so we'll then try to use that. But, I mean, the 620 Rand, like most families make a plan to meet that.
Besides lowering costs and making the school more accessible, Jana also wants to give teachers a stronger role as experts, just like doctors in a hospital.
Your scarce, expensive resource is the surgeon. But the surgeon only performs the surgery, right? You only meet them in theatre. They're not the person who fills out your admission form. They don't take your heart rate and your blood pressure. They don't give you medication. Like all of that is performed by like the receptionist or the porter or the nurse or other supplementary, complementary roles actually in the hospital setup. And that you use the specialized resource only for the thing that only he or she can do. And the thinking here is very much the same, is that if you have a teacher who is a scarce resource, why do we use that person's time to make sure that we hand out papers or that a child is connected to the Wi-Fi? Because anyone could have stepped in and fulfilled that function. But if we want to say someone needs to re-explain a really difficult mathematical concept to a child, there we're going to lean on the person who is specialized and trained to perform that function. And that's the whole foundation on which this model is based, is letting people do what they're really good at.
And that's why she applies for every classroom, one teacher supported by 2 lower-cost facilitators in the classroom. Jana is deeply grateful for the teachers and facilitators at the school, because everything depends on them, of course.
And I think the thing that I appreciate actually the most about our teachers is the willingness to constantly try new things and to innovate and not to complain, but to pitch up and to do it again. Because if people just came to work and said, no, we want to do what we've always done, that's not going to work, right? What we've always done is broken, like the system is broken. So we have to try something new, but we don't yet know exactly what that something new is. So we're really asking people to go on a journey with us and to help us find that. Luckily, we have teachers who's like smart and bright and brave and willing to innovate with us.
After the break, I'm back in Jason's classroom. However, I do wonder whether it's healthy to spend all day behind a computer, wearing headphones.
In between some of our periods, we actually do have brain breaks, just to get them moving and also to reduce screen time. So we try to incorporate like physical brain breaks where they do dances or singing, and then other times we have Kahoots or quizzes that they can complete also online.
And with this moment of singing and dancing together with 100 learners in a classroom in Stellenbosch, my South African journey comes to an end. Thank you to all the passionate teachers, school leaders and organizations who guided me over the past 2 weeks. And to the students and learners who generously shared their stories with my microphone. A special thanks to Ayanda Sithol from VVOB for listening along and answering all the questions that came up along the way. This podcast was made in collaboration with Artevelde University of Applied Sciences and VVOB. I am Eva Moeraert. I did research, recordings and editing. The beautiful sound design was created by Lambrecht. The music was specially composed by Vusumusi Nyapo from Pretoria, South Africa. And the opening jingle was voiced by the youth reporters of Alex FM. Thank you, Philip, Steffi, Lisse and Bieke for the support and feedback along the way. And to Michael for all the help with the recordings, driving around South Africa, the beautiful pictures and the final review. And you, thank you so much for listening to La Lela.